What's going on, everyone? So, the Indiana Pacers have a very good chance of landing the number one pick in the upcoming draft. They are very likely going to add a incredible talent to a team that is a year removed from being in the NBA Finals. And if it isn't for Tyrese Halliburton tearing his Achilles, might have actually beaten OKC. Might have actually won the NBA championship, and we'd be having a very different conversation about said team. But they're going to be able to very likely add another kind of youthful foundation piece for now and the future. Somebody that could, again, help really get them back. They made an excellent acquisition and pickup at the trade deadline in landing Ivica Zubac, which gives them that center, right, that they really desperately needed after losing Miles Turner. And I think you can make an argument is actually a better... He doesn't give you the floor spacing that Miles Turner does, but the rebounding, the interior size, the physicality, I mean, that might actually be better for a Indiana Pacers team, especially when they get Tyrese Halliburton back. Pacers are going to be a problem next year. Right? They'd be a very good basketball team. But got a report from Jake L. Fisher about the Indiana Pacers considering drafting not somebody that many people would expect for the number one pick. So according to, again, Jake L. Fisher, the Indiana Pacers would reportedly consider drafting Cam Boozer number one. Again, this is per Jake L. Fisher. No one in the NBA that I've consulted projects any sort of dramatic draft night fall for either Peterson or Boozer. When it comes to Boozer, in fact, there is a sentiment amongst some rival teams that the Duke star would be Indiana's preferred selection, even if Pacers were to come away with the number one overall pick because of his potential fit alongside Pascal Siakam, newly acquired Ivica Zubac. Couple things about that, right? Are you really turning down AJ or Peterson? This kind of, I want to start by saying, like, this kind of sounds like smokescreen to me, right? Like you see teams like, oh, hey, I would absolutely, hey, no, we really want is Cam Boozer, right? And kind of try to sway opinions here, right? Oh, if we get the number one pick, we'd trade Cam Boozer. Which, if you got the number one pick and you want Cam Boozer, then you trade the number one pick and then just draft Cam Boozer, right? Because Cam Boozer's probably going second or third. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. There is definitely an argument for Cam, without a doubt. He's playing like one of, if not the best players in the country. The guy is unbelievable. Number one seed Duke, big Duke guy, right? So there is absolutely the potential that he goes number one. And there are some teams, depending on the teams that end up landing the number one pick, there are arguments to be made that it might make more sense to land him than not, right? I just don't think it makes sense for Indiana, right? Like, again, Cam Boozer is an incredible talent, but Pascal Siakam is your four, and he's best as your four. Cam Boozer, however, I think is probably going to be a four in the NBA. Is he somebody that can translate and be the three? Right? Like, sure. But there's him being able to play the three and him actually being a three. There's differences. Right? Like, right? Like, he can be good enough to play the three, but that doesn't mean he is a three. Like, he's 6'9", 250. He's a power forward, small ball center, right? His versatility, like, he's somebody that should be your four. So are you going to move Pascal Siakam to the three? Okay, so then what does that mean for Nesmith and, and Nembhard, right? Like, are you trading one of them? Are you going to bring Cam Boozer off the bench the first few years, right? I mean, you do have, so, like, obviously that's probably what would happen, is you bring Cameron Boozer off the bench for the first, 2 years or whatever. He's 18. He won't be 19 till the end of the season. So he'll be 19 going into next year. So he's going to be incredibly young, right? But he's a guy that he's going to be a power forward in this league. That's where he's going to have his biggest mismatches. That's where he's going to have his best advantages, his offensive versatility, all of that, his rebounding ability, all of that, right? But you look at Pascal Siakam. To me, I look at Cam Boozer as like Siakam's replacement, right? Because Siakam's 31. He's going to be 32 in like literally a few weeks. So how many more years left do you have of him? Right? How many more years left is he going to be able to play to the level in which he's playing? Also, you got to keep in mind, he has 2 more years on his deal. He makes $48.9 million next year and then $52.2 million following year, which would be 33. He'd be 34 going into unrestricted free agency. So it would make sense. Like where my argument would be for going and getting Cam Boozer was you bring him in. Now you got his production, just depth off the bench. Siakam gets the night off. Boom, easily can start. Right? You could even do some like creative things where like say Ivica Zubac misses a game. Maybe go with Cam Boozer at your starting 5 and just see like go the small ball route and see how it works. Right? Like there's options is the point. Right? But to me, the way I look at it is if they're serious about Cam Boozer, again, I don't really buy it, but if they are, then you spend the next 2 years with him as the backup to Pascal Siakam. You experiment with him at times at the 3, sure, right? Like you see, like can he get away with being a 3? Can he get away with being, but is he really a 4, right? Now you have him kind of experiment, and then you can kind of let the natural progression, like wherever he falls or wherever he lands, that's where he falls, that's where he lands. But then Siakam, his contract runs its course. You let him fall off the books. Cam Boozer steps in, which would be a cheaper option now, because he'd still have, at that point, 2 more years on his deal cheap. So if you've won a championship, great. You can go kind of get that piece to go try to win another. If you haven't won a championship, you can hopefully get that piece to now put you over the top and go win a championship. Or if Cameron Boozer becomes that guy for you, then, now you have that. So again, I don't think it's a terrible idea. I just don't, I don't necessarily buy it, right? Like Peterson, okay, doesn't really make it's scoring, right? It's offense. There is that argument. It'd be good for like when Tyrese Halliburton's off the game, but he's more of like a combo guard type. But if you can get AJ, I don't know how you say no to that. Like if you land the number 1 pick, right? Because AJ could slot in basically 2 through 3 for you. And then you could have either Nembhard or Nesmith come off the bench in the rotation. Or worst case scenario, you could trade one of those 2, which every team in the league would be after, because they're just really good 3-and-D guys, and go get a return to then now, go make a play. Like, I don't know. It's interesting. Definitely interesting. But anyways, as always, this is a discussion. I pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.